Niners fans, it's about that time. 7:40 on a Tuesday. Faithful Niner Empire. What's good? You know who it is. It's your boy, Jay in the Bay. And once again, it's a pleasure to be on with the faithful, the Niner Empire. Once again, it's a pleasure to be on with the best fans. Y'all know it in the NFL. And first, I got to say, what's good? Everybody watching on Jay and the Bay's Facebook page, also watching on Jay and the Bay's YouTube channel. And of course, if you're watching on if you're watching on the Spotlight Sports Network, appreciate you if you're watching from there. And there's been just a plethora of news, faithful, that came out, today. And we're definitely going to get into that today. I had to come on and jump on with you guys and see how you guys are doing on a Tuesday. And also, training camp is today. And what do you know it? Trey Lance has yet to sign his rookie contract. I know yesterday and a few days ago, y'all were saying, hey, Jay, you tripping. He going to get the contract signed. You ain't got to worry about it. Well, training camp, the players were supposed to report today. But if you haven't signed a contract, you can't report to camp. And I would be lying if I said I wasn't concerned. I don't think he's going to hold out. But, I mean, what? The athletes, the players get on the field tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Pacific time. I mean, what's the holdup? I don't get it. What do you guys think? Are you guys concerned? I would be concerned. I am concerned because this isn't just, a few days before, a few weeks before. This is like literally hours before the players are supposed to step onto the field. So this is, definitely concerning. Hopefully Lynch, Parag Marate, and Trey Lance representation can get a deal done, sooner than later. And this show is nothing. This show is nothing without the fans, the people who are conversing with me in the chat. I got to say what's good to all the people in the chat. And I will do that right now. So first off, the chimpanzee, what's good? Appreciate you coming through to the stream, man. How you doing on a Tuesday? Chimpanzee says, I'm hearing that Aaron Rodgers wants to stay with the Packers now, but he's leaving in 2022 free agency. He said, so that good. Yeah, I heard about that. I guess that's good news for Packers for 1 year. They have Aaron Rodgers for 1 year, and then they'll trade him in the offseason. Roberto Hastings, what's good? Appreciate you coming through to the stream, Roberto. He says, bang, bang, Niner gang. That's right. Let's see. Punch Doug, what's good? Appreciate you coming through to the stream, Punch. He says, why would they pass up on Justin Fields? Well, because Lynch and Shanahan felt that Trey Lance was the better player. And I think Trey Lance will be successful in Kyle Shanahan's system. Thanks for tuning in to the stream, though, Punch Doug. David Renteria, what's good? Appreciate you coming through to the stream. He says, Howard has requested a trade. Which Howard are you referring to, David? Let me know. You know it in them comments. Corey Davis. Corey Davis, what's good? Appreciate you coming through to the stream, Corey. Is anyone else worried in the chat about Trey Lance? And he's yet to sign his rookie deal. Corey Davis, let me know. Are you concerned, man, or am I tripping? Oh, you're talking about, okay, David Renteria. So you're talking about the cornerback. You're talking about the cornerback, Xavier Howard for the Miami Dolphins. Okay. And David says, sources saying the Cardinals, Cowboys, Saints are heavily interested in Dolphins cornerback Howard. Yeah, I mean, he's an excellent quarterback. He's an excellent cornerback. He's still in the prime of his career. And hopefully the Cardinals don't get him. We definitely don't want the Cardinals to get him. That's for sure. He can go to any other team except the Cardinals. Damian Lee, what's good? Damian Lee, Are you concerned about Trey Lance? Let me know in them comments. Are you concerned about Trey Lance not signing his rookie deal yet? I mean, this is a 5-alarm fire, Damian. Ron Z Nation, what's good? He says, yo, nice to be in the stream. I appreciate you coming through to the stream, Ron Z Nation, on a Tuesday. We're just talking about the faithful, the Niner Empire. And I appreciate you coming through to the stream. Corey Davis says they say Aaron Rodgers is going to be a free agent in 2022. Okay. So then he'll have his pick of the litter as far as which teams he wants to go to. I'm surprised by that. I'm surprised the Packers would just let him walk without trading him, because they could have easily negotiated a trade clause where the Packers can trade him, but Aaron Rodgers has final say in where he goes. I'm surprised the Packers would just let him walk without getting some type of compensation for him. Let's see. David says, but I think if Cardinals do trade for him, they might trade Chandler Jones. That would be interesting. So you trade Chandler Jones to the Dolphins, and then they give you Xavier Howard. I don't know if the Dolphins would do that, but I mean, because Chandler Jones, he's not really, I guess you could say he's on the back nine of his career, and Xavier Howard, he's still in the prime of his career. So maybe the Cardinals would have to send, maybe additional draft picks, Corey Davis, in regards to my question about, Trey Lance, should the faithful be concerned about Trey Lance, not signing his rookie deal yet? And Corey Davis says, yes, he is concerned. And I am too. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. It's not the money. It's got to be the contract language. But this is still concerning. He's a quarterback. He needs to get the most amount of snaps. He needs to be around the team as much as possible. So I'm very concerned about Trey Lance. David Renteria says, but Jones is still a top 10 pass rusher. Now, Chandler Jones has had an excellent career with the Arizona Cardinals. He's had double-digit sack seasons, multiple seasons. Last year, he only played 5 games, and I think he only had 1 sack. So, this is probably the wrong time. He doesn't have much leverage to negotiate a long-term extension based on the year he had last year. Is he still a top 10 pass rusher? Not based off last season, but maybe he still has the ability to rush the passer. But last year definitely wasn't a great year to base that on, So we'll see what he does this year. If the Cardinals trade him, I wouldn't be mad. I'll tell you that. Damian Lee says we need to let our corners develop. Trey Lance not signed yet doesn't scare me. We good. Okay. So when would it scare you, Damian? So I guess you're not concerned if Trey Lance misses time in camp, which I guess that could make sense, right? Because Jimmy G is the projected starter. Kyle Shanahan said it himself that Jimmy G will be the starter. He's 1 and Trey Lance is 2. So I guess if you're thinking like that, maybe it doesn't really hurt if Trey Lance misses a few days, but I think it does, man. I think he needs to be out there with his team. I'm not sure what the holdup is. I wish we knew, but maybe he'll sign a few hours before midnight, or maybe he'll sign early morning tomorrow, in the wee hours of the morning. We'll see, man. Oh, yeah. And Damian, he said we need to let our corners develop. And I believe Emmanuel Mosley, he has been put on the COVID list. So I think he has to be out at least 10 days. And that'll give opportunities to Ambry Thomas and DeMorty Lenore, the 2 rookie corners we drafted. One of those corners will be taking pretty much the bulk of Emmanuel Mosley's snaps. So I think that's good development for our corners. And hopefully, of course, I want Emmanuel Mosley to come back, healthy and ready to go. Let's see. David Renteria says if Cardinals do get Howard without trading Jones, Cardinals got a steal, probably going to get them 2 first-round picks. Wow. I mean, how old is Xavier Howard? Let's see. Let's look that up real quick. Because I know he had a good contract with the Dolphins. And let's see. Xavier Howard. Yeah, so it says Xavier Howard requests trade from the Miami Dolphins. He doesn't feel valued or respected. Wow. And he's 28 years old. So he is in the prime of his career. You figure he's got at least, if he stays healthy, at least 3 or 4 good to great years, in his NFL career. So yeah, that would be a good move for the Cardinals. Obviously, as a 49er fan, I don't want to see that. David Renteria says, don't believe what they say because Kiff said Josh Rosen was the guy and drafted Kyler Murray. I mean, that's true to a certain extent, but there's a reason Jimmy G is still on the roster, David. There's a reason Jimmy G is still on the roster because he still has value to the team. If Jimmy G didn't have any value, the Niners would have cut him, in February or March of this year. The Niners, Jimmy G has 2 years left on his contract. I think it's about $56 million. None of it's guaranteed. I think it's only $2 million that is guaranteed. So the 49ers saw no value in Jimmy G. I think he'll be cut. And then they would have Trey Lance start, or they could have gotten an average quarterback. They could have got Tyrod Taylor. They could have got Mitchell Trubisky, or they could have got Andy Dalton to be the placeholder until they felt Trey Lance was ready. They would do that if they didn't feel that Jimmy G still gave the team value. And I think that's what it comes down to. But I appreciate your perspective, man. Corey Davis says, did you hear that Coach Kyle Shanahan said it's not a quarterback competition? That's right. Yeah, I was definitely going to get into that, Corey Davis, for sure. Shanahan did say that it's not a quarterback competition, that Jimmy G is the number one starter. And I think Trey Lance is number two. I think that's good. I don't think there needs to be a competition. I think because Shanahan knows what Jimmy G brings to the table. He really has no idea what Trey will do once he's in pads and he's going up against an NFL caliber defense. I think Trey Lance is going to have to blow Jimmy G out the water. He's going to have to look better than him in every single aspect of, playing a quarterback position in the NFL. And I think there's no rush for Trey Lance to start. I know a lot of people want to play with the shiny new toy. But Jimmy G is there, and there's a reason why he's still, on the roster. And David Renteria confirmed, yes, Xavier Howard is 28 years old. Damian Lee says, Jimmy G is our starter. I don't want to rush Trey. I remember Emmitt Smith sat out 2 games and Dallas won the Super Bowl. Yeah, yep. And that was due to a contract dispute. And, but he plays a running back position. Obviously, that's totally different than the quarterback position. If he wants to get on even footing with Jimmy G, I mean, he needs to be in camp. I mean, there's no doubt about that. He needs to be in camp. So, I'm eager to see what happens. Training camp, the players are already at the facility, but there'll be on-field activity tomorrow, the first day. So I'm definitely excited for that. And hopefully Trey will be on the field. Damian Lee says, I have trust in the office to get Trey ready by game day. Yeah, I trust Shanahan, and I trust that he knows best, and there's a reason why Jimmy G's still on the roster, and because Jimmy G gives the team the best chance to win today. Now, come October, November, I think they'll have to reevaluate that, but we'll see what happens then. But if Jimmy G's playing well, hopefully he stays, in the game. Jimbo Jones, what's good? Appreciate you coming through to the stream, Jimbo. First time I've seen you in here. I appreciate you coming through to the stream. Hopefully you enjoy the show. He says, sup, Jay, you still on that Jimmy G train? That's right. I mean, I've seen what Jimmy G has done at the highest level in the NFL. I have no idea what Trey's going to do. It would be different if we didn't have Jimmy and, Brian Hoyer was our starting quarterback and Trey Lance was drafted. Then I would say, okay, yeah, start Trey from week 1 because, Brian Hoyer is not a franchise quarterback. He hasn't had much success in the NFL for an extended period of time. And Jimmy G, he has had one season, and he's had that one good season when he's been healthy. And I think that's what we all want to see is Jimmy G, be healthy And if he's healthy, he gives the 49ers the best chance to win right now. And I think that's why Jimmy G is still on the roster. Jimbo says Trey is waiting on Zach to sign. Yeah, I heard about that. And shout out to the 49ers Ultimate Report. Check him out if you guys haven't checked him out. 49ers Ultimate Report on YouTube. I was watching his stream earlier, and he had a report similar to that for some reason it's, the agents of Zach Wilson and Trey Lance, they're waiting for the other player to sign. I don't really get that. I guess it's just bragging rights for the agents, but the money is slotted. Trey Lance will not get more money than Zach Wilson because Zach Wilson was picked ahead of Trey. Trevor Lawrence I think he got $36 million over 4 years. Zach Wilson will get less than that, and then Trey Lance will get less than Zach Wilson. So, if that's the case, I don't get it, but hopefully both players are in camp. That's all I'm hoping for. David says Jimmy G going to get hurt week 4. Calling it. That's Kyle. We don't wish for injuries on this show. David Renteria. Jimbo Jones says, and if not, he'll be benched by the bye week. Man, I mean, that's an interesting point that some people feel that Jimmy G will be worse this year than 2019, when I feel the offensive line is better compared to last year. We got the big silverback Trent Williams, the most expensive left tackle in NFL history. He's back protecting Jimmy G's blind side. Laken Tomlinson at the left guard is solid. We have stability now. We have veteran leadership. You have a veteran presence in center Alex Mack. He's familiar with Kyle Shanahan's system. We're going to have an interesting battle at that right guard spot between Brunskill and Aaron Banks. Aaron Banks is a young buck, Bay Area kid, fresh out of Notre Dame. He's going to be lining up possibly right next to Mike McGlinchey. And Mike McGlinchey's in the contract year. Y'all know when players are in the contract year, they're going to try to ball out. And Mike McGlinchey had some bad tape last year. But this year he came into camp. He's put on a little bit of weight. Hopefully that serves him well, and especially in pass blocking situations, because we know that Mike McGlinchey, he's a road grader. He's a mauler in the run blocking game. But hopefully he gets better in the pass blocking game, because he's going to try to get a lucrative contract extension. It may not be with the Niners next year, but he's going to try to get it from another team. The only way he can do that, he's got to ball out and be an anchor on that right side. So the Niners offensive line is better. We have a plethora of running backs: Trey Sermon, Wayne Gallman, Raheem Mostert, Jermichael Hasty. Also, who else am I missing? Elijah Mitchell. And of course, we have Jeff Wilson Jr., running back. He's hurt now, but he should be back in November, December at the latest. So running backs have improved. Offensive line has improved. Tight end, we got Michael Pruitt. He's more of a blocking tight end. Wide receivers, we'll see. I mean, they say, Jalen Hurd is healthy. He's ready for training camp. So, that's a leg up from last year. And, so I think the weapons are better with the Niners. I think the offensive line is better. So I think Jimmy G will play well this year. I don't see him struggling this year, especially since the Niners are going to run the ball. The Niners are going to run the ball very, very much. David Renteria says, by the way, the Cardinals running back Chase Edmonds added a few pounds of muscle. I heard about that. He going to need it going up against the Niner Empire. Jimbo Jones says Shanahan knows best, which is why he wanted Trey. Yeah, I think Shanahan knew he had it to upgrade the quarterback room. And the facts are that Jimmy, unfortunately, he's missed more games than he's played. And, Nick Mullins and CJ Beathard weren't cutting it anymore. So that's why we upgraded the quarterback room with getting, the future of the franchise and Trey Lance, and then also getting Nate Sudfeld and Josh Rosen. So, yeah, I think Shanahan does know best. And if he says that Jimmy G gives the Niners the best chance to win, I'm sticking with the coach. Coach Dante, what's good? Appreciate you coming through to the stream, Coach Dante. Pac-Man Sports, what's good? I know you happy, man. You got Aaron Rodgers is back in camp. I know you're happy about that. He says Aaron could be available for trade in 2022. That's what I've heard. But this year he's going to play with the Packers and the Niners. we will definitely have our hands full on Sunday Night Football prime time. That's going to be our home opener against the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers will be on the team. I always thought that would be a difficult game with or without Rodgers, but I still think we have a good chance to win. I still think we have a pretty good chance to win. Amy Lee says, now Kyle has his quarterback. He has to prove he knows how to develop a quarterback, not just coming up with good schemes on offense. That's true. And I know, Damian, you've been saying that in the past, like he didn't really develop Beathard or Mullins. And I guess the book is out on Jimmy G. I guess you could say that because, I guess he had most of his development with the New England Patriots. But you could say that Shanahan definitely did not stunt Jimmy G's growth. And hopefully this year, this will be Jimmy G's best year because he's playing for his future starting NFL career this year. If he balls out, he gets us to the playoffs. I'm talking about Jimmy G. We'll trade him to another team in the offseason, and Jimmy G can be a starter in this league. But if Jimmy has another injury-riddled season, I don't think he'll compete for a starting position. I think he could be a backup. Jimbo Jones says, I keep hearing how the Niners would lean more on the run if Trey started, which plays to their strength. I think we're going to run the ball regardless. I think whether Jimmy's in there or Trey's in there, we're going to run the ball at least, I would say, 30 to 35 times a game. I think that's what Shanahan wants to do. Shanahan loves to use that play action passing game. And I think he'll do that whichever quarterback is in. And we don't have a bell cow running back. We don't have a Ezekiel Elliott. We don't have a, Derrick Henry. But we do have is multiple running backs who can provide a spark to the offense. And I think he'll use 3 or 4 running backs up on game day. And I think we're going to run the ball, control the time of possession, and limit the opposing offense's possessions. I think that's how we're going to win games. 49ers first take. What's good? Appreciate you coming through to the stream. He says, I feel Jimmy needs a push. Handing him the starter position when he only played 1 full season is head scratching. Well, in that full season, that's another thing. Like, it wasn't like Jimmy G's first full season. The Niners went 6-10. Come on, first takes. The Niners went to the Super Bowl. That's kind of a big deal. I know we didn't win it, but that's a big deal, and that's the reason why Jimmy G's still on the roster. If we would have went 6-10 after he played a full season, I don't think he's still on the roster today. But Shanahan saw him over a course of 19 games, and he guided the Niners to the Super Bowl. And I think Jimmy is getting pushed by the Niners trading up from pick 12 to pick 3. That's a blockbuster trade. The Niners haven't drafted a quarterback in the first round since Alex Smith in 2005. This is the push that you're referring to. First takes was by the Niners selecting Trey Lance with the number 3 overall pick. And we all know Trey Lance is the future quarterback. Jimmy G knows that as well, but he came into camp with a great attitude. He's not just going to lay down. He's not just going to give his position up. Jimmy G is ready to fight to be the starter. And I think right now he gives the Niners the best chance to win. I really do believe that. And we'll see what happens down the road. But as of right now, Jimmy G does give the Niners the best chance to win. If he didn't, he wouldn't be on the roster. 49ers first take says, but hey, what do I know? Hey, no one's experts here. We're just 49er fans, football fans who love giving our opinions, and we love going back and forth. Damian Lee says Wayne Gallman and Trey Sermon will destroy opposing defenses. I agree. I think we have not only those two. I like Elijah Mitchell. I like Jermichael Hasty. Too bad Jeff Wilson Jr. got hurt. And of course, you can't forget about the home run hitter in Raheem Mostert. I think our running back room is good. Jimbo Jones says weapons are good when healthy. Problem is they can't stay healthy. Well, yeah, that was a fluke last year. Jimbo Jones, that was a fluke last year. You can't. I don't think that's going to happen again. All our injuries to our, some of our best players. Great thing about it is D Ford is expected to be healthy, ready for training camp. Nick Bosa expected to be healthy, ready for training camp, and also Jalen Hurd. So I would say, obviously, the opponents, our opponents on the schedule, we have to obviously play against. We have to beat in certain situations. But I feel like our biggest opponent is just staying healthy. I think if we were healthy last year, the season would have been a lot different. And, hopefully the health is on our side this year. The Ramelia Sports Report, what's good? Appreciate you coming through to the stream. He says, what's good, my Niner brother at J in the Bay. Obviously, we talking about the Niner Empire. But I welcome all fans, no matter who you're a fan of. You can always come and enjoy Jay in the Bay, and especially my dysfunctional NFC West family with the Rams fans, Cardinals fans, and Seahawks fans. They're always wanted. You can always come through to the stream and chop it up with this 49er loving Jay in the Bay. Corey Davis says, I think Kyle said that to send a message to Trey Lance. Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. I see where you're going with that, Corey. Trey Lance will not be handed the starting job. I don't think anyone thought if Jimmy G's on the roster and he's healthy that the job would just be handed to Trey. I just don't see it. Nah, Trey's got to work for it. Trey has to outperform Jimmy G. He's got to force Kyle Shanahan's hand, because if let's say Jimmy's on the roster the whole year and Trey is given the week 1 starting job. If he struggles, people are going to say, "Oh, why'd you put Trey in? You should have kept Jimmy G in. What are you thinking?" Like, if Trey gets to start week 1, he's got to start the whole year if he's healthy. I don't think you go back to Jimmy G. I don't see that. But if it's the other way around, Jimmy G's in, and unfortunately, if he gets hurt or if he struggles multiple weeks, then I think they stick with Trey. But I don't see Jimmy struggling. I just don't see it. I think he's going to have his best year yet in the red and gold. Jimbo Jones says Chandler Jones already reported to camp. He ain't holding out or get traded. I think you got to check your sources, Jimbo. Last I heard, Chandler Jones wanted to be traded. He's looking for that next contract extension. Terrible timing on his part and his representation. He should have requested a contract extension the 2019 season, when I think that's when he had like 19 sacks. He's coming off of an injury-riddled season last year. He only played 5 games. It's terrible timing for him to want a contract extension. I think he's 32 years old. And does he still have that double-digit sack season in him? I don't know. The time will tell. But I think Chandler Jones, I heard that he wants to be traded. Has he reported to camp? He could be reporting to camp, but I hear he wants to get traded, or he wants a contract extension. Pac-Man Sports says Trey is a talent that will be a good successor to Jimmy. I'm sure he'll have a good year. If he's ready, yeah, I think he'll have a good year. I think so. I think there might be some growing pains, but I think he will have a pretty good year. Pac-Man Sports says Trey Sermon could be a bell cow. I mean, he could be, but I don't think he will be in the 49ers offense. To me, a bell cow running back is someone who gets 30 carries a game, like a Zeke the Freak with the Dallas Cowboys, or like a Derrick Henry with the Tennessee Titans. To me, those are bell cows. I don't think Kyle Shanahan will use him that way. I think he'll get his carries, but I don't think it's going to be divided. Trey Sermon's going to get some carries. Raheem Mostert will get carries. Wayne Gallman will get carries. And I think you can see all 3 of those running backs up on game day, at least. I appreciate all these comments. But I did want to talk about the 49ers' latest news. So as of today, as I went on, Trey Lance has yet to sign his rookie contract. This is definitely concerning. The 49ers also made some roster moves. 49ers waived wide receiver Andy Jones. No one really expected him to make the roster, maybe a practice squad player, but he was waived, and the 49ers signed defensive end Anthony Zettel. He's been a journeyman defensive lineman, and our defensive line is really, there's a lot of talent on the defensive line, so it's going to be an uphill battle for him to make the active 53-man roster. And as I mentioned before, D Ford, Nick Bosa, and Jalen Hurd are all active for training camp, so this is definitely a great sign. Unfortunately, though, Emmanuel Mosley is on the COVID list, but our rookie corners could get some valuable snaps in the time that Emmanuel Mosley is missing. And it's great to hear that D Ford, Bosa, and Hurd are active for camp. Obviously, Jalen Hurd has been out the last 2 years due to, I think he had back and torn ACL injuries, and hopefully health will be on his side this season and he can contribute to the team. Same with D Ford. He's been hurt. Hopefully we can get contributions from D Ford. And obviously we are expecting Nick Bosa to be back to his 2019 form. I think we should temper our expectations of Nick Bosa. I think we should allow him to ease into the snaps into the season. Hopefully he's not playing 100% of the snaps week one against Detroit Lions. Hopefully we ease him in and allow him to, not put the entire defensive snaps on him and, just let him play, 30 to 40% of the snaps starting off, and I'd be surprised if Ford or Bosa play in the preseason. I'd be surprised by that. Let's continue on with these comments. Let's see. Wayne, let's see. Damian says, Wayne Gallman was good with the Giants. I don't see why people forget about him. Well, he's been a backup pretty much for his career. I think he was drafted in 2017 or 2018. Saquon Barkley, he's the biggest name on the New York Giants. And, obviously Saquon Barkley and Wayne Gallman play the same position. That's why people don't really think about Wayne Gallman. But he had starter carries last year behind that Giants offensive line. And I think he should play pretty well behind the 49ers offensive line. I'm definitely looking forward to see what he brings to the Niners offense. 49ers First Take says, fair enough. Travis Berg Jr., what's good? Appreciate you coming into the stream, Travis. How you doing on a Tuesday? Jimbo Jones says, good thing there's preseason this year. Trey will light it up preseason and take the job, in my opinion. Okay. I mean, I hope so. I mean, I want what's best for the Niners. Whoever wins the quarterback position or whoever's deemed better week one, I trust Shanahan to make that decision. And he's going to start the player who will allow the Niners to have the best chance to win. That's what Shanahan will do. Whether that's Trey, whether that's Jimmy G, whether that's Nate Sudfeld, Josh Rosen, at the end of the day, whoever puts the team in position to win, that's who's going to start. It may not be the most exciting player. It may not be the newest player to the team, but we'll see how Trey does, going up against opposing defense. That's what I want to see. Jimbo Jones says Cardinals aren't trading their franchise pass rusher with their team on the rise. Well, if they don't trade him, they're going to have to, either extend him or he might hold out. That's definitely a possibility. I hope, I think it'll be funny if they trade him. They should trade him. From a 49er perspective, man, go ahead, trade Chandler Jones, man. It'd be interesting to see if the Cardinals extend him because he's coming off his worst season as a Cardinal, and he's on the back nine of his career. So it'd be interesting. I'm intrigued to see how that plays out. Jimbo Jones says they don't have the depth like the Washington football team. Now, there's no doubt. Jimbo, that the Washington football team has, great depth along that defensive front. They have like 4 first-round picks on that defensive line. They're definitely, almost as good as the 49ers defensive line. Nah, I can't lie, though. Chase Young, he's a beast. Montez Sweat, Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne. I think you guys still have Ioannidis. There's no doubt. That's one of the best defensive fronts in the NFL for sure. Jimbo Jones, tell me how you really feel. He says Zeke the freak with the Dallas Cowboys. He says Zeke is trash. What? He says, when was the last time he was relevant? Wow, so disrespectful to Ezekiel Elliott. Now, Ezekiel Elliott, he's not the same back he was when he first came into the league. Obviously, he's got a lot of wear and tear on his body, but Ezekiel Elliott, he's looking good coming into camp. He lost some LBs. He's looking spry. Let's see what he does behind, that Cowboys in their offensive line. I don't know if it got better. I know it's definitely one of the older offensive lines in the NFL, but he's got Dak Prescott. He's got Dak Prescott back under center. The offense, at least for the Cowboys, should be exciting. That's for sure. Let's see. David Renteria, if Cardinals somehow trade Howard without getting rid of Jones, I would be crazy. Yeah, I don't think. I mean, who would the Dolphins want in exchange for Howard besides Jones? I mean, I'm trying to think of anyone on the Cardinals roster. Maybe they would say give up DeAndre Hopkins, which the Cardinals probably wouldn't do. But yeah, I don't know who else the Dolphins would want in exchange, unless it was just for draft picks. Caden Jenkins, what's good? Appreciate you coming through to the stream, man. If everyone's in the stream right now, I appreciate you hitting a thumbs up for the stream. Let YouTube and me know that you're enjoying the content. Also, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button for your boy, Jay in the Bay. And I appreciate you coming through to the stream, Caden. J.A. Aguayo, 56. What's good? He says, hi, Jay. What is going on? We have to go with Jimmy G and rely on our offense to control the time of possession and lean on our defense. Exactly. I think we would do the same thing if Trey was in. Shanahan wants to run the ball, control the time of possession, limit the offensive turnovers, and force turnovers on the defensive side of the ball. I think that's what we can do with Jimmy G. Pac-Man Sports says, I can see Mostert get most carries one game, but Sermon gets the most another game. I think he could carry the load. I like Sermon as a prospect. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I got to be totally honest and transparent and objective with you guys. I was surprised we drafted a running back that high. I thought after we drafted Trey, I thought we would get, I thought our most pressing needs were corner and wide receiver. Obviously, the Niners felt differently, at least with the wide receiver position. But, we got the big man out of Notre Dame, Aaron Banks, to compete at that right guard spot. And then we got Sermon the next round. I was surprised by that, but obviously Shanahan and Lynch saw great value in Sermon as a third-round pick. And, you don't see many first-round running backs being drafted as much. Those days are kind of long gone. I think there might have been, this year there might have been two running backs drafted in the first. It was Najee and I think maybe Travis Etienne. I think those were the two running backs who were drafted in the first round. There might have been one more, maybe, but a lot of teams, they don't draft running backs in the first round anymore. So the Niners clearly saw great value in getting Trey Sermon with that third overall pick. Let's see. Roberto Hastings says, hold up, did you just say D Ford was active? That's right. D Ford is active for training camp in addition to Jalen Hurd and Nick Bosa. So that's a great sign because D Ford has, he's basically been inactive for the last year. So we'll see what happens though. The pads will be on, they'll be hitting. We'll see what happens with D Ford. We definitely have to watch that. Keep an eye out for that. Shanti Uber, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, Shanti. We just talking about the Niner Empire. Jimbo Jones, he says, how do I contribute to the channel? This is premium content. Hey, I appreciate the kind words, man. I appreciate you hit that subscribe button and let your friends and family know about Jay in the Bay. And I appreciate your contributions to the stream, Jimbo. It's first time I seen you in here. And I appreciate you coming through to the stream and conversing with Jay in the Bay. Shanti Uber says, how is Gallman's receiving skills? That's a great question. I can quickly look up Wayne Gallman's stats because I didn't really watch too many New York Giants games. Like I know we played them. What was that last year? But I don't remember Gallman standing out. And I think I'm not sure if Saquon Barkley was already hurt. Let's see. Wayne Gallman. So Wayne Gallman, he played in 15 games last year. He started 10. So I think Saquon might have already. He was still playing. But so let's see. Wayne Gallman last year, he had 21 catches, 114 yards. So I mean, he can catch the ball. It just seemed like they didn't utilize him as a receiving back. But he could definitely be utilized as a receiving back in this offense. I could see that. Jimbo Jones says he played 5 games last year. He doesn't have a reason to hold out. Let's see. Yeah, I think you're talking about Chandler Jones. Well, I mean, if you Google Chandler Jones, just Google Chandler Jones, and there are reports that he's holding out. That's what I've heard a few days ago. Now, if I Google him right now, let's see what pops up when I Google Chandler Jones, because I believe he is. Let's see. So it does say a report 5 hours ago. It says that Chandler Jones did report to camp, but it says that their futures are up in the air. And 2 days ago, an ESPN report said that Chandler Jones was unhappy over contract. He requested a trade from the Cardinals. So he's playing, the team role. He's showing up to camp, but he's unhappy because he wants a new contract. So he's not holding out, no, but he wants a new contract, and he also requested a trade. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with Chandler Jones. Maybe the Cardinals extend him, maybe not. But he does have a large cap hit coming into this season, that's for sure. But I appreciate the update, Jimbo. Crisco's Country Life, what's good? Appreciate you coming through to the stream, Crisco. He says hello, everyone. And I know Crisco is really looking forward to football. Yes, we are. I'm very excited for training camp and preseason. Normally, I'm not a training camp preseason guy, but the Niners have gotten an influx of talent on both sides of the ball that I can't wait to see. We definitely needed to get younger in the secondary. We did that. We added weapons on the offensive line, the running back room, and of course, trade area. So, and I know you're looking forward to your New Orleans Saints. And I'm looking forward to see what Jameis Winston does with the Saints. Can he get the Saints to the playoffs? That'll be interesting to see. Jay, what's good? Appreciate you coming through to the stream. He says, yo, just on time. Yeah, man. Whenever you get here, that's perfect, man. Shanti Uber says, how many wins do you predict, Jay? I think we go 12-5, Sean. I think we can definitely get 12 wins. Some of our hardest games will be in division. And also we have a road game against the Tennessee Titans. That's going to be a tough game. But, yeah, I think we can get 12 wins this year. What do you think, Sean T? What do you think? How many wins do you think we'll get this year? Jay says, congrats to the Packers fans. Aaron Rodgers is back. Yep. Congratulations to the Packers fans. He's back for one more year. Jay says, this is Aaron Rodgers' last season in Green Bay. No way he's coming back. Yeah, I think he's one and done. J.A. Aguayo 56. If we ease Bosa into the rotation and use Ford on rushing downs, who will play first and second downs until Bosa gets into game shape? That's an excellent question. I imagine, we signed former LA Rams player Samson Ebukam. I think he will start. He will play a lot of snaps at that edge rushing position. I think Ford and Bosa will be used sparingly, especially in the first 4 weeks of the season. Armstead will be lined up outside, and he'll also line up inside. And then we also signed Arden Key. I think Arden Key will get some snaps there as well. Yeah, those are two names that come to mind: Samson and Arden Key. I think they'll definitely get some snaps. I feel like I'm forgetting someone's name. D Ford, Bosa. I think they'll play limited snaps. But yeah, I think Samson and Arden Key will get the bulk of the snaps. And then of course we still have Zach Hurst and Maurice Hurst, but they're more interior defensive linemen. But yeah, and we'll see, because there are other players on that defensive line, and I'm eager to see how that depth chart looks once we get closer to week 1. But I would hope that Ford and Bosa are used sparingly, at least in the first 4 weeks of the year. I think just to like ramp them up. Jimbo Jones, over under. That's Kyle. He says over under 1.5 games this season for D4. Oh, it's definitely over. You can take that to the strip. Take that to Vegas, Jimbo Jones. Bet 10 grand, all your money on D4. He will play over 1.5 games. You could take that to the bank, man, for sure. Let's see. Pac-Man Sports says it could be 2022 is a beautiful mystery. LOL. Well, I know you got to be happy, right, Pac-Man? You get Aaron Rodgers one last year. Maybe he'll get you guys deep into the playoffs. But I'm sure you'd rather have Rodgers starting than Love, right? John, what's good? Appreciate you coming through to the stream, John. He says, if you can pick one player to have an injury-free season, who would it be? I think it's Jimmy G. That's my quarterback. back. If Jimmy G is healthy the entire year, I think we are a playoff team. Jimmy G plays winning football. 27 TDs, 13 interceptions, 2019. If he could get those interceptions to single digits, I think that would be a pretty good season for Jimmy. And I think he is an important player on the offense. He only touches the ball every game, or excuse me, every snap. And I think if Jimmy G is healthy, the offense goes for sure. Jay says in response to Pac-Man Sports, enjoy Aaron Rodgers last season in a Packer uniform. Let's see. Oh, wait, let me continue on with these comments. I think I might have lost where I was. Let's see. Oh, okay. Jimbo Jones is answering John's question about if you could have an injury-free season, which player would you think it would be? Jimbo Jones says Bosa. The team will go far if he's healthy. I agree. Bosa is very important. I mean, you figure the top 5 most important players on the team. I think it's Jimmy, it's Bosa, probably Fred Warner, Trent Williams, and I would say George Kittle. Those are probably the 5 most important players on the 49ers. If all 5 of those players are healthy and productive, I think the Niners can have a long playoff season. J Mouse says Deshaun Watson will be traded. I agree with that, but will he play any games this year? That will be. I'm very curious to see how that plays out because he's yet to be suspended or even placed on the commissioner's exempt list. So I know he hasn't been. I guess he hasn't been. I don't know. I don't think he's been charged with anything. I think he's under investigation. He has. I guess I should say he hasn't been found guilty of anything. But I think they've had players before that have gotten arrested, and the commissioner has basically said, well, you can't play until they figure this out. So, but I guess that's the case too. Deshaun Watson hasn't been arrested for anything. So, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see if he gets traded, how many games he plays. But for those that don't know, Deshaun Watson is in camp with the Houston Texans. Let's see. Jay says Xavier Howard has requested a trade. Should the Niners make an offer? That would be nice, right? To pair Xavier Howard with Jason Verrett. That would be nice, but we don't really have the draft capital, unfortunately, to go after Xavier Howard. I'm sure the Miami Dolphins want multiple first-round picks for his services, and the Niners just don't have the picks. But it is nice to dream. Pac-Man Sports says, I definitely will, all the way to Super Bowl 56. Jimbo Jones says, rarely do trades this close to the start of the season ever work out to the benefit of the team. Yeah, but if a player is unhappy, like Xavier Howard says he feels undervalued and disrespected. Like if he feels that way, you just don't want an unhappy player on your team. And, it's probably just best just to cut your losses and try to get as much compensation as you can get. See, Jay says, Jameis, turnover Winston. Yeah, I mean, he had a 30 for 30 season with the Bucks. Quarterbacks definitely don't want those type of seasons, 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions. And, with Sean Payton, Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas, I know he's going to miss a few games this year, but maybe a change of scenery would help Jameis Winston. And I heard he got the LASIK. He got that 20/20 now, so maybe he'll be a better quarterback. Let's see. Jay has a nickname for Samson Ibuka. He says it's going to be Samson Ibu Monster. Interesting. All right. I like that. JH Sports, what's good? Appreciate you coming through to the stream, JH. How you doing on a Tuesday? JB and M Sports Fanatic, what's good? Appreciate you coming through to the stream. He says, what's good? Got to ease Bosa in wisely. I agree. Got to ease Bosa in. There's no reason why he should be playing 100% of the snaps week 1 against Detroit. Let's ease him in, maybe about 15, 20 snaps. That's it, and slowly just ramp up from there. JH Sports, for those that don't know, is a Shot-Town Bears fan. What do you think? You want Justin Fields to start week 1? Are you okay with Andy Dalton? Let me know in them comments. Let's see. J Mouse says Niners. JH Sports. Yeah, I live in the Bay Area. Bay Area. Shanti Uber says if the Niners can stay healthy, I like our chances at a 13-4 record. Losses to Rams, Seattle, Tennessee, and Colts. Okay, I can see that. I actually think that Tennessee game is definitely going to be tough. I wouldn't be surprised if we lost to each of our division teams at least once. But I think we should beat the Colts. We'll be coming off of a bye week. The players will be well rested, ready to go. Shanahan and his staff will have at least 2 weeks to prepare for the Indianapolis Colts. Now, Carson Wentz with the Eagles, he did beat us last year. But obviously, this is a totally different year. And I don't think Jimmy G started that game. I think he was hurt. I think Mullins started that game. So that already, we're already going to be an upgrade at that. But yeah, 13-4, I can see that. I can see that. Let's see. Jimbo Jones says Bosa got Armstead paid $75 million. He makes the entire D line relevant. Yeah, because Armstead, if you look at the first 4 years of his career, he didn't really live up to that first round pick. If you look at his stats. And then when Bosa was drafted, you had Bosa on one end, you had Ford on the other, and then you had Armstead and Buckner up the middle. Armstead balled out. And we're going to need a lot of production from Armstead, and he is the highest paid defensive lineman on the team. And I want to see most sacks. Armstead's got to get more sacks. He's got to get more pressure on the quarterback. And a lot is riding on him. Bosa, Armstead, and I think Samson. Those are going to be the 3 guys that the Niners rely heavily on to get pressure. And we'll see what we get from Arden Key, and we'll see what we get from D Ford, and also Javon Kinlaw as well inside. His expectations are high for him as well. Corey Davis says, I think in response to John's question about who is the player the Niners need most to be healthy during the year, and Corey Davis says Jalen Hurd. Yeah, if Jalen Hurd can replace and be better than Kendrick Bourne, I think that's a plus. And I think it's pretty clear throughout free agency and the draft, the 49ers were content with the wide receivers that we had in the room. And, Jalen Hurd, I believe he was a 3rd round pick. So he's not a day 3 pick. A round 3 pick, you're expecting that player to perform and perform well. And right now, we haven't seen the production from Hurd due to his injury. So, yeah, if Jalen Hurd comes into camp, he wins that number 3 starting job, and he replaces Kendrick Bourne's production, I think that would be perfect. Perfect for the Niners. Let's see. Yep, that's right, J Mouse. We here on a Tuesday. JH Sports says he wants Fields week 1, baby. Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. Yeah, that would be an intriguing matchup. Justin Fields going up against Jimmy G. The Niners and Bears play this year. I think it's going to be in Chi-Town. I think that game's going to be in Chicago. So that should be a pretty good game. Alex Faulkner, what's good? Thanks for coming in to the stream. He says, what's our division record at the end of the season? I think it's going to be 3-3. I think we're going to split with all 3 teams. Best case scenario, maybe 4-2. But that would mean we would sweep one team. And I think, I don't know. Our division is so tough. Murray and Wilson are a problem at the quarterback position because they can extend plays. Matt Stafford is an upgrade over Jared Goff. I think our division is going to be really tough. And I think if we're 3-3, we're in good shape. Let's see. J.A. Guayo says, do you think Mo Hurst will make the team? Did Givens clear up his situation? Yes. Givens did clear up his off the field situation. So that's all clear. No issues with that going forward. Mo Hurst, he's going to play that defensive tackle position. Obviously, I think Kinlaw and DJ Jones were probably the favorite Obviously, Kinlaw's going to make the 53-man roster. There's no doubt about that. DJ Jones, he was a solid player. I liked him in 2019. And I think it's going to be between after Kinlaw, it's basically DJ Jones, Zach Kerr, Maurice Hurst, and I think, like as you said, Kevin Givens. So, we'll see. We'll see. Mo Hurst, he didn't meet expectations with the Las Vegas Raiders when they drafted him. I believe he was a 3rd-round pick. So maybe with a change of scenery, a different defensive line coach, maybe Maurice Hurst can live up to his potential, and that's what we're hoping for with the red and gold. It's like it's like Jay says in response to Jay Sports, Andy Dalton will be the starter. Your coach has said he will. Yeah, but who knows for how long, right? Who knows for how long? Especially if Andy Dalton is struggling, or if the team is losing, you might as well put Justin Fields in. Let's see. JH Sports is offering his predictions of the 2021 NFC West. So he's got the Rams going 14-3. He's got the Niners going 13-4. Seahawks going 12-5. And the Cardinals going 11-5. Okay. I do think that all 4 teams will have a winning record, but I think the Cardinals will be the last team in the division. Jimbo Jones says Kinlaw will have a breakout season with a healthy Bosa. That's what we're hoping for. Kinlaw was definitely at a disadvantage his rookie season. He didn't have a normal NFL training camp. He had no mini camp, no preseason, no training camp. And basically, he was just thrown in the fire. And I thought he played solid, but hopefully this year, with a more normal year, he's at mini camp. He's been through an NFL offseason. He'll be in training camp. I think he'll definitely get some snaps in the preseason. And I think Kinlaw will definitely have a breakout season. I agree. ABM Sports Fanatic says, where do you rank the 49ers offensive line as a unit in comparison to the rest of the league? A lot of money invested in the O-line. Well, let's say in the NFC West, I think there's no doubt the 49ers have the best offensive line in the NFC West. I'm not sure about the other teams in the league, but in the NFC West, I think there's no doubt the 49ers have the best offensive line. It's anchored by Trent Williams, Alex Mack, Tomlinson, Mike McGlinchey, and then also whoever's going to start at right guard. I think we definitely have the best offensive line in the division. That's for sure. JH Sports says he really wants Fields week 1, and he does not like Andy Dalton. Jimbo Jones says they got to let Andy start at least 1 or 2 games. That's probably what's going to happen. Jimbo Jones also says he is excited to see Justin Fields. Let's see. And the Bears, they got a tough game week 1. They got to go. Week 1 is in SoFi Stadium. They got to play the LA Rams. That's going to be a pretty good game. Pac-Man Sports says Ohio State quarterbacks are bust. Yeah, they haven't fared well in the NFL recently. Let's see. Jimbo Jones says no way all teams win 11 games. Well, I think the Cardinals, they could win 10 games. I think they're a good team, but I think they definitely have the worst coach in the division. But the Cardinals are still a pretty good team. I think, don't the Cardinals? No, I don't think they play the Washington football team, but I think the Cardinals, they should be hovering around 9-10 wins. I think I wouldn't be surprised by that. Jimbo Jones says Seahawks could fall off a cliff. Not if they got Russell Wilson. I mean, there's no doubt, Jimbo, Russell Wilson is the best quarterback in the NFC West. He's arguably, I would put him in my top 5 quarterbacks. And as long as you got Russell Wilson and you got DK, you got Tyler Lockett, you got Chris Carson, their offense is loaded, and they're always a problem for opposing defenses. And Jimbo Jones has a great point. Their D is historically bad. That was last year. They brought back Carlos Dunlap. They brought over Kerry Hyder Jr. from the 49ers. And they brought over Kello Witherspoon. They still have Jamal Adams. Bobby Wags is still there. So their defense is solid. It's solid, but the Seahawks, they'll win games by that offense for sure. They'll definitely win games by that offense. And I appreciate everyone who's still in the stream. I appreciate everyone who hits that thumbs up button and make sure you subscribe to Jay in the Bay. I appreciate all the support. Jay Sports says my Cardinals predictions were supposed to be 11-6. I typed it wrong. Yeah, I think they'll win double figures, though. I think they'll still be around 10, 11 games. Jimbo Jones says the Seahawks O-line is pretty shaky. They still have Dwayne Brown, and they traded for Rodney Hudson. Or no, they traded for Gabe Jackson. And Gabe Jackson was a pretty good guard with the Raiders. So I think they're better in that front. But, going up against the NFC West defensive lines, the Seahawks offensive line is definitely at a disadvantage. I would say so. With the Rams, Aaron Donald, and Leonard Floyd. With the Niners, Iverson Kinlaw, Bosa, Armstead, Ford, Samson. And then with the with the Cardinals, you got J.J. Watt, Chandler Jones. So the Seahawks offensive line would definitely have their hands full in the division. Jay says the 49ers will be the best in the West. I agree, man. I agree. Jimbo Jones says the Niners have the road grazers. That's right. Let's see. J.A. Aguayo says, do you think we will carry 3 quarterbacks? And if we do, who will be the third quarterback, Rosen or Suffolk? That's a great question. I think Shanahan will carry 3 quarterbacks. To be perfectly honest, I haven't seen much of Nate Sudfeld. I know he was with the Eagles, but I haven't seen much of him. Josh Rosen, he hasn't done much in the league either. I guess you could say he was on shaky ground with the Arizona Cardinals. He wasn't ready, and he started on a bad team. Then I believe he got traded to Miami. He couldn't beat out Ryan Fitzpatrick for the starting job. And then also he backed up with Tampa Bay. So I don't know what to expect from Rosen. I'm excited to see what he can do in preseason. But if Rosen or Sudfeld, whoever's the third quarterback, is playing multiple games in the regular season, I think the 49ers offense is in trouble. You never want to rely on the third quarterback to start multiple games, obviously. But yeah, if we're doing that, we're in trouble. CG Ruthless, what's good? Appreciate you tuning in to the stream, CG. Me and CG Ruthless will be having a live stream this Thursday on Jay in the Bay YouTube channel at 12 o'clock Pacific. We'll be talking about all the latest 49er news. And me and CG have not had a collab in a while, so it'll be good to catch up with CG and pick his brain a little bit about the latest 49er news. Make sure you guys tune in. Jimbo Jones says, what do you think about Sam Darnold in Carolina? I think Sam Darnold should play a lot better than he played with the Jets. The head coach there, I'm forgetting his name, but, he flamed out in Miami, flamed out with the Jets. And I think Matt Rule seems like he's got the Carolina Panthers on a rise. Teddy Bridgewater was there last year. Teddy's solid, but I think he's just not a franchise quarterback. And this will be a make or break year for Sam Darnold. If he gets the Panthers to the playoffs and he's playing well, I think the Panthers will probably he'll be with the Panthers for years to come. And I think the Panthers, they could be a wild card team in the NFC South. I think obviously Tampa Bay is the best team, but New Orleans with Jameis, Michael Thomas is going to be out for a few weeks. And then with the Falcons, I don't really see the Falcons making too much noise in that NFC South division. So I think the Panthers could be a wild card team. Flicked FN, what's good? Appreciate you coming through to the stream. He says, Arizona looking nice with Kyler Murray. Yeah, I think Kyler Murray is definitely a problem. But they're in the tough division. Like if they were in the NFC East or something, they would win that division hands down. But in the NFC West, they definitely have they definitely have the worst coach compared to Pete Carroll, McVay, and Kyle Shanahan. And Cliff Kingsbury has yet to get the Cardinals over the hump for whatever reason. And I think it's probably because of the division, but also the Cardinals, they were looking good last year, and Kyler had that shoulder injury, and their season kind of went down the drain. But we'll see what they do this year. JB&M Sports Fanatic says Rams losing Akers is huge. Will cost them then season when it matters most late in the season. That's interesting. I mean, we'll see. They have Henderson, who's definitely not the same back as Akers. Akers was on another level, and the Rams have some names in the running back room that aren't known. But I think they're going to rely on Matt Stafford throwing the ball a lot. I think Matt Stafford will probably throw over 5,000 yards in a season, and he's got a lot of weapons on that, at the wide receiver position, at the tight end position. So I think the Rams will be fine. I don't think they're going to miss the playoffs or anything because Akers isn't there, but I guess we'll see as the season progresses, because I think a quarterback benefits from having a steady run game that he can rely on and having a balanced attack. I think that goes a long way. I think the defense then will have to look out for the running game and the passing game. And I think Matt Stafford would definitely benefit from that. Lennon Wolf, the AZ Sports fan. What's good? Appreciate you coming through to the stream, man. Good luck to your AZ Cardinals this year. I like your avatar, man. Appreciate you coming through to the stream. Let's see. Something else I wanted to talk about, what we learned from the Shanahan Lynch presser. And for some reason, I did not see this video on YouTube. I'm not sure why, but I couldn't get any footage of their press conference today. I think it was only like 15 minutes. And Shanahan said, hey, there will be no quarterback competition. Jimmy G is number one, and Trey is number two. And I think this is the right decision. Obviously, things can change on the fly. And like Shanahan said, it's really up to Trey Lance. If Trey Lance comes in, balls out, puts pressure on Jimmy G, then, hey, things can change. But I think that was the right move for Shanahan to say that Jimmy G is the starter. And that's really no surprise to me. I know some people are disappointed by that, but I mean, Trey, you got to work for it, man. And I think Trey Lance knows that. He's got to work for it, and he got to sign that contract first. Lennon Wolf says, hopefully my Cardinals Chandler Jones gets paid. Yeah, I mean, he's on the back nine of his career. I don't think he's expecting like some 5-year contract, but for the Cardinals fans' sake, hopefully, maybe he could sign a 2 or 3 year deal and he'll stay in Arizona, because he was definitely one of the best pass rushers in the league when he was with the Arizona Cardinals. Jimbo Jones says Shanahan is saying that because Jimmy is the only quarterback present in camp. That's Kyle. No, he's saying that because he's seen Jimmy play at a high level. We haven't seen Trey. Trey has yet to throw an NFL pass. He looks good in shirt and shorts, but let's see what he does against the NFL defense. And there's a reason why Jimmy is still on the roster. I believe this. If Jimmy had no value to the faithful, to the Niner Empire, if Jimmy G had no value, he wouldn't be on the team. Jimbo. They could have got, like someone said yesterday, that Jimmy's just an average quarterback or he's not good. Then why would Jimmy be on the roster? Jimmy has 2 years left on his contract. None of the money's guaranteed. If the Niners cut Jimmy tomorrow, they only owe him $2 million. If Jimmy was just another quarterback, he's just an average quarterback, then why didn't the Niners sign, Brian Hoyer or Tyrod Taylor or Andy Dalton or Mitchell Trubisky? Bring in one of those quarterbacks and let Trey sit behind them, and the Niners could have saved $26 million this year. But there's a reason why they didn't do that. There's a reason why they did not do that, because Jimmy G has value to the 49ers franchise. I think there's no denying that. Let's see. JB&M agrees with Jimbo. He says Jimbo has a solid point, and even so, Jimmy is your starting quarterback and has handled things very professionally and knows the system. It's the right move. Yeah, I definitely love Jimmy G's attitude coming into the season. You know, he definitely did not pout. He's a professional. He doesn't want to lose his starting job. And yeah, I think he knows he has to ball out this year to set his future NFL quarterback situation up, starting quarterback situation up. If he balls out, I think he'll get traded and another team will want him as the franchise quarterback. Uh, Now, if he has another injury-riddled season, then yeah, I don't see him being a starter in the league, or at least I don't see a team giving him the starting position. Maybe they'll let him compete, but he could be a backup quarterback for a long time. Lennon Wolf also says we also got JJ Watt. Yeah, we'll see what JJ Watt still has left in the tank. I don't think he's the defensive player of the year player anymore, but I think he's still a good player, especially when you line him up with Chandler Jones. J.A. Aguayo says a big plus this year is we will play in our home field. I think that is a great feeling for the players. Yes. And we not only play on our home field, but we have fans. The fans will be at the stadium, 100% capacity, and that's going to be great for the players' morale. That's for sure. Jay Miles says, got to go. I appreciate your contributions to the show. Thanks for tuning in to the stream. Lennon Wolf says, it cannot be possible, but my prediction record for the Cardinals, we're going to win the division and go 14-3. Might be a Super Bowl contender because Chandler Jones is one of the best pass rushers. I love your optimism, Lennon Wolf. And, we'll see what comes to fruition. But the Cardinals are definitely in a tough division. Kyler Murray, I think for the Cardinals to be 14-3, Kyler Murray is going to have an MVP season. And I think that defense is going to have to be like, a top 5 defense for that to happen. But we'll see. And any word on Larry Fitzgerald? Is he coming back to the Cardinals? Do you have any information on that, Lennon Wolf? Let me know. JBNL Sports Fanatic says not Brian Hoyer. No. Nah. Let's see. Lennon Wolf says, if I would say losses that the Cardinals will lose to, it would be the Rams, Browns, and Niners. Okay. So no losses to Russell Wilson and them Seahawks. Let's see. Lennon also says, and then Kyler Murray has a big chance to win MVP of the year. Yeah, I think for the Cardinals to go 14-3, yeah, Kyler Murray has to have an MVP season for sure. Jackson Porter, what's good? Appreciate you coming through to the stream, man. Looks like Jackson Porter is a Seattle Seahawks fan. That's a nice avatar you got there. Russell Wilson, no doubt. He's one of the he's obviously the best quarterback in the NFC West, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I appreciate you joining the stream. The first time I seen you on, feel free to hit that subscribe button. I welcome all fans into the Jay and the Bay show, but of course, we're talking about the faithful, the Niner Empire. But I appreciate you joining the show, Jackson. 49ers Ultimate Report. What's good? Appreciate you coming through to the stream, man. I was watching your stream earlier today. Very informative. And I appreciate you continuing to push out that content, man. I appreciate you. Jackson Porter says MVP. I mean, Russell Wilson definitely has the talent and the ability to do so. And he is always a problem going up against any defense. That's for sure. Lennon Wolf says, not any news yet for Larry Fitzgerald. He needs to be decision because he needs to make a decision because it is almost preseason. I mean if he doesn't know by now, he probably don't want to play, right? He should know by now. Maybe he's had an excellent career. He's a Hall of Famer, probably the best Arizona Cardinals in franchise history. Like, he's going to go to the NFL Hall of Fame. He's going to go into that Arizona Cardinals Ring of Honor. He's had a hell of a career. Doesn't have much else to prove. I'm sure he would want, a Super Bowl ring, but, that doesn't always come to fruition. And another thing I wanted to say, about Jimmy G. That's my quarterback. Jimmy G has the faith of the locker room. A lot of players love him. Obviously he's best friends with George Kittle, the best tight end in the NFL. And also, Trent Williams had some great things to say about Jimmy G. And, Trent Williams, he's not just a guy. Trent Williams, the big silverback, he's only the best left tackle in the NFL. And what he says matters. And Trent Williams said, inside that locker room, it's a different vibe altogether. The roster is standing behind the man who led them to the Super Bowl, while Garoppolo's attitude remains as fiery as ever. This is what Trent Williams said. This isn't just some bench warmer. This isn't just some practice squad guy. This is the highest paid left tackle in the NFL. When Trent Williams speak, I listen. Trent Williams also said Jimmy has always been very competitive. Trent says he's watched him play when a lot of people didn't know that his ankle was damn near an inch away from just snapping. Trent also says just watching him fight through and try to play a guy who has accomplished so much, got a lot of money, went to the Super Bowl. He didn't have to press forward like he tried to, and he tried to play hurt. Trent goes on to say that the guys respect that. Jimmy has handled the situation the best as I could imagine anyone handling it. Trent says he can't speak for Jimmy and how he felt, but I don't think it's a big of a deal as everyone is making it. Kyle's been pretty open about saying Jimmy G is our quarterback. Now that's coming from the best offensive lineman in the NFL, at least the best offensive lineman on the 49ers in Trent Williams. So, Jimmy G has the backing of the guys in the roster, Trent also said, if you take your team to the Super Bowl or deep into the playoffs, who can criticize that? This is what Trent Williams said. As hard as it is, it's hard to find good quarterbacks in this league. Hard to see a guy being that successful and then just letting him walk out the door the next year. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense at all. And Trent Williams has played in this league a long time with the Washington football team. He's never been to a Super Bowl. And hopefully with the Niners, we can get Trent Williams back to the Super Bowl. But I don't think you just, you don't just put that to the side. There's a reason why the locker room is still behind Jimmy G. Let's see. Jackson Porter says, actually, no, I already read that. Jackson Porter says he's already a subscriber. I appreciate your support. Corey Davis says, Jay in the Bay, I want that hat. Can you mail it to me? LOL. I love that hat. Yeah, I had to get this hat when I saw it. Faithful to the Bay. Yeah, it's an excellent hat. I love it. And I don't have too many white hats, but this one I really like, man. But I appreciate you, man. AD. Let's see. J.A. Aguayo says Jimmy G deserves a starting quarterback until Trey takes it away. I like how you said that. Trey needs to take it away. Like, there needs to be no doubt from Shanahan, from the players in the locker room. There should be no doubt that Trey is the better option if he gets the starting job. It can't just be all willy-nilly. Oh, we just want to see Trey out there just because he's a new guy on the block. Nah, it shouldn't be like that, especially not with what Jimmy G brings to this team. J.A. Aguayo also says we want that to happen because that would mean he earned it. Exactly. And that's what Shanahan said. You got to earn the job, man. You got to earn it. Not just going to be given to you. See, Jimbo Jones says Cardinals are fun to watch, but have a lot of injury-prone players. Yeah, Kyler Murray, he's definitely fun to watch. They got DeAndre Hopkins, probably the best wide receiver in the NFL. They also drafted some guys on defense, and they drafted a wide receiver. So they should be an exciting team to watch. They're definitely going to be a problem for every team they face. Let's see. 49ers Ultimate Report says, where is the IU jersey? Because it is the IU show. That's funny. I don't wear it on every stream. 49ers Ultimate Report, but yeah, you'll see it soon. You'll see it real soon. Lennon Wolf says, when your team played in my stadium, it was so weird and awful because you guys are from San Francisco and the Bay. That should be your home stadium, not State Farm Stadium. I know, man. Can you believe the nerve? They kicked us out of Levi Stadium, man. But we definitely appreciate the, Arizona Cardinals management, allowing us to be in that home stadium. You guys were so gracious to us. And hopefully we can play all our home games in Levi Stadium because it's definitely a home field advantage, one of the best home field advantages in the NFL. Jimbo Jones says, of course, he's handling it professionally. He's getting paid $25 million while only playing 10 games a season. Hey, Jimbo Jones, it was more than 10 games a season. All right. He played actually, I think in total, Jimmy's played at least 30 games. He's played at least 30 games, I believe, in a 49er uniform because there was 5 when we traded for him. 2 games the following season, and then he played the Super Bowl. So, yeah, he played at least 30 games, man. But, yeah, man, shout out to Jimmy G being professional because we've seen not all players do that. I'm not going to say no names. Y'all know, but not all players do that. Coach Dante, he says, shout out to the 11. Okay. Jackson Porter says, I'm a little questionable about the Seahawks cornerback position. What? You not sold on Akello Witherspoon, man? He said it himself. He feel like he the best corner in the NFL when he on the field. You don't believe in Akello Witherspoon? And you guys did lose Shaquille Griffin. I think he went to the Jaguars. But I always say, a secondary's best friend is the pass rush. As long as Hyder and Dunlap can get pressure on the quarterback, I think the Seahawks secondary will be fine. But they're going to have to get after the quarterback and make them feel uncomfortable. 49ers Ultimate Report has confirmed Jimmy G has played 30 games. Get that right, Jimbo Jones. Get that right. Let's see. Jackson Porter says, no, not really. Okay. You not happy about Akello Witherspoon, man? That's funny. Jimbo Jones says, don't compare A-Rod to Jimmy. I didn't say A-Rod's name, Jimbo. I didn't say his name. You said his name. Because you already know how A-Rod was doing, But hey, I guess all is right in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Jackson Porter, tell me how you really feel. You saying Akello Witherspoon sucks? Dang, man. Akello Witherspoon, he was good in 2019, and then he got hurt, and then unfortunately he was just never the same after that. I don't know if Akello lost confidence or he came back too soon and he wasn't fully healthy, but yeah, he wasn't the same after that. But maybe he'll do better in Seattle. Maybe. J.A. Aguayo says, as the faithful, how soon we forget our quarterbacks are Kaepernick. Kaepernick left. They were terrible. When we signed Jimmy G, most of the faithful were on board with the signing. Yes. It has been a roller coaster of a journey with Jimmy G. And I'm a Jimmy G supporter. Obviously a 49er supporter, but I can see why people are tired of Jimmy G because he hasn't been healthy. Unfortunately, the best ability is availability, and he's been hurt a lot. So I can see why a lot of fans, they just want to move in a different direction. I totally understand that. But as Trent Williams said, the big silver back, you just don't, cut players or trade players who were instrumental in getting you to the Super Bowl. You just don't do that. And that's why Jimmy G is still on the roster. And, Jimmy G is definitely an upgrade over Hoyer, Mullins, and Beathard. And Shanahan saw that we needed to upgrade the quarterback room, and he did that. That's why Trey Lance is in the Bay Area. Has Trey Lance signed his contract yet? Anyone tell me in the chat, has Trey Lance signed his contract yet? I mean, how long is this going to take? How many days into training camp is this going to go on where Trey Lance has yet to sign his rookie deal? What's going on, faithful? And Jackson Porter says, just kidding. Let's see. He says, hopefully he does better. Yeah, I'm rooting for Akello. Kerry Hyder, just not when they play against the Niners. Hopefully they have good seasons. Let's see. Corey Davis says, I hope to wear Trey Lance jersey to training camp Saturday, August 7th. That'd be dope, man. Yeah, that'd be dope. Especially the one with that 75 anniversary patch. That'd be real nice. But yeah, have fun at that at training camp on Saturday. I hear it's in Levi Stadium, so that should be pretty fun, man. 49ers Ultimate Report says Jimmy is not perfect. He is not a star quarterback, but all I care is wins. Don't care if with Jimmy or Lance. I agree too. Whoever Shanahan says, who is Shanahan's guy? Whoever Shanahan says gives the Niners the best chance to win, that's who starts week 1. I'm happy. Whether that's Jimmy or Trey. All I want to see is the 49ers be successful. And regardless of who's at quarterback, whoever Shanahan feels is the best, that's who I'm rocking with. So, but yeah, I appreciate everyone coming through to the stream tonight. Obviously, there was a plethora of information that came out about the Niners. For those that are just tuning in, we talked about, obviously, Trey Lance is yet to sign his rookie deal. Talked about the Niners did sign a defensive end, Anthony Zettel, and they also waived wide receiver Andy Jones. Dee Ford, Nick Bosa, and Jalen Hurd are active for training camp. Great news, especially obviously adding depth at the defensive line. Ford and Bosa could be very pivotal in the season, being successful. And Jalen Hurd, he could win that number 3 wide receiver spot. That's really huge. So very glad that all those 3 players are active for camp. Emmanuel Mosley is on the COVID list, so he will be out, I believe, at least 10 days. And that leaves an opportunity for our young corners who we drafted in this year's draft to get some more snaps, Lenore and Ambry Thomas. I'm looking forward to that. And let's see. Jay Mouse says, great stream. I appreciate the support, Jay. Thanks for tuning in to the stream. Jackson Porter says he sees the Seahawks going 14-3 or 13-4. All right, I respect it. I can't wait till we relive that battle. Niners against Seahawks. I'm looking forward to it. Like I said before, we have the toughest division, in the NFL. I could see every team winning double-digit games. I could see that. And I'm definitely looking forward to the competition. I appreciate Jackson Porter coming to the stream, Jay, 49ers Ultimate Report, J.A. Aguayo, Jimbo Jones, Coach Dante, Lennon Wolf, C.G. Ruthless was here. Let's see, JB&M Sports Fanatic. Appreciate you coming through. Flicked FN came through. Let's see, Jay came through. Pac-Man Sports, JH Sports. Alex Faulkner. I don't know if I mentioned, but J.A. Aguayo. Corey Davis came through. Shanti Uber. Let's see. John came through. Chris Goes Country Life. Roberto Hastings. Caden Jenkins. David Renteria was here. I appreciate everyone that came through to the stream and conversed with me. I do plan on having a live stream. Let's see. Do plan on having a live stream. That's going to be Thursday at noon with CG Ruthless Sports. We're going to talk about the latest 49er news. So make sure you guys tune in to Jay and the Bay. Lennon Wolf says, go Cardinals. Good luck to your squad this year. Hopefully you guys stay healthy. Jackson Porter says there's not a bad team in the NFC West right now. I totally agree with that. DC Vlogs, LSU, what's good? He says, what's up, Jay? I hope you get to 1,000 soon. I hope so, man. I hope so. Seahawks Kingdom, what's good? Appreciate you coming through to the stream, man. This is your first time I've seen you on my stream. Of course, we talk about here the faithful, the Niner Empire. But I welcome all fans of all fan bases into the Jay and the Bay stream, especially in the dysfunctional NFC West family with the Seahawks, the Cardinals, the Rams. So, yeah, I appreciate you coming through. Make sure you leave a thumbs up for the stream. Subscribe to Jay and the Bay. He says, Seahawks Kingdom say, go Seahawks. LMAO, Ultimate Report. Quarterback, most important position. No, you're definitely right about that. Quarterback is the most important position, and Seahawks got a hell of a quarterback in Russell Wilson, that's for sure. Let's see. Splash out. What's good? Appreciate you coming through to the stream, man. I was just getting ready to head out. He says, peace. J.A. Aguayo says, great job as usual. Hope you and your family have a blessed night. Same to you as well, J.A. Aguayo. Hopefully you have a great week. And I will see everyone on the next stream. That'll be Thursday at noon with CG Ruthless. And shout out to everyone watching on that good old Spotlight Sports Network. I appreciate everyone watching me on that channel. Of course, everyone watching on Jay and the Bay YouTube channel. And also, if you're watching on Jay and the Bay Facebook page, I appreciate you as well. And I think it's about that time for me to head on out. And thanks for watching your boy, Jay in the Bay. I'll see you guys in the next stream coming up this week in 2 days. I might put out some more videos in between that if there's some more breaking 49ers news. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one.